Welcome back to the Sports Source. This segment brought to you by Southeast Termite and Pest Control. Mosquito season just around the corner, and they have a brand new treatment plan for your yard. There's less spraying involved. It's easier on the good insects that you have in your yard, and it works. Contact Southeast Termite and Pest Control this week. Ask about their new mosquito treatments. They always do a great job at my home. I'm a big believer in this group, southeasttermite.com, to learn more. All right. Let's take a look at the tournament now. Hey, look, I build some of these graphics on a laptop, build all these graphics on a laptop, and when you're sitting next to your laptop, they're easy to read. Then sometimes you put them on a TV screen, stand 10 feet away, and it's like, no one can read that. So my apologies. So I'm going to ask Josh, and I'll tell you what's coming up here. You know it. But South Carolina, Mississippi, they open play on Wednesday night. The winner will play against Tennessee Thursday afternoon, the second game in Nashville. Then Tennessee, if they win that, they're going to play 4-seed Missouri, who, of course, they lost to here on the buzzer beater that gave the Missouri Tigers the 4-seed. If you get by them, then it's Alabama, probably, or Florida, Mississippi State if they've pulled an upset. How do you feel about the tournament path for the SEC tournament defending champions, Josh Ward?
Well, to get to Alabama, I think it's pretty good. Missouri is a solid team. Missouri won in Knoxville on a buzzer beater. They also shot the lights out in Knoxville. We've already covered some of the defensive concerns now that you don't have Zakai. So Missouri will go into that game thinking we can get open shots again and we'll knock them down again. Dennis Gates has done a great job with that team. Alabama, I know Tennessee won that game. Different circumstance. In Knoxville, not having Zakai I think will be a problem in trying to limit what they're able to do penetrating. So to get to Sunday, I don't really like Tennessee's chances. To get to Saturday, I still think it's I think it's a realistic goal that Tennessee can hit. South Carolina and Ole Miss both stink. The line for the South Carolina game should be 41.5 if Tennessee plays them.
Well, here, I don't know if it was Chuck or Jimmy or one of you guys, because I don't keep track. But somebody said earlier, boy, if you don't do well against South Carolina, I guess it was Jimmy. After you've, or maybe it's Chuck, whatever. If you've blown those guys, if you've blown them out twice and you don't play well against them, that is going to be a major black flag. That's not even a red flag. That's a black flag that goes up.
Yeah, well, if it's a closer game, I'm guessing it'll be closer than 40 points or 43.
Yeah, but
if it's a closer game and then you beat Missouri, well, then you can maybe chalk it up to get to work on some things. So got to get through Thursday. If they don't get through Thursday, then that'll give us a really good indication of what happens the next week.
You agree?
I'm almost most concerned about Missouri on that side of the bracket. And the reason is because Alabama's not playing at the level that they were prior to the Brandon Miller news. Like, they're escaping through some games. They're not playing great. Lost yesterday. I almost think that's the best thing for them is if they get a quick exit and have a chance to sort of reset. So who knows where their head is going to be at, and maybe that bracket, that side of the bracket completely opens up. Here's the thing. Is Tennessee good enough to beat any of these other teams too? Maybe they have their down game and they get bounced. This is such an up and down team. So yeah, they should get to Friday, but after that, you just never know which version you're going to get.
All right, let's talk NCAA seeding. Tennessee's kind of been viewed as a 3-seed for most of the year. Joe Lenardi had them as a 3-seed going into yesterday's game. I think Jerry Palm had dropped them to a 4-seed at CBS. Bracket Matrix is a website that combines like every bracket projection that's out there. It's like 100 brackets, and they combine them all. And Tennessee, going into yesterday's game, was the third number 3 seed in most of these projections, meaning that even if you drop them one slot, they would still be a 3 seed. I think they're going to wind up a 4 seed when all is said and done. If it were me, and I was taking into account the Ziegler injury, the way they finished the season, the fact they're one-dimensional, and their head coach doesn't have a great March track record, I'm giving them no higher than a 5 seed. I think a 5 seed is more what they deserve. I don't care about the net ranking and the Ken Palm rank. They're still top 5, even after yesterday. I'm throwing out my computers. I'm using the eye test and a little bit of history test here. I'd give them a 5 seed. What do you think they'll get? What would you give them at this point?
If I'm guessing a 4, that would seem fair. The issue there, though, is that net ranking is so good. I'm not sure that we've seen a team fall to a 4 or 5 with that good of a ranking. But you have the Zakai Ziegler factor. You have the what's happened late in the season. Last year we saw the SEC tournament events not really matter in terms of what happened at the end. But if you beat Missouri and get to Saturday, I think 3 could still be on the table, if I'm guessing.
Yeah, and what does momentum mean? I mean, to your point, kind
Well,
of
if
like
you have
last
a good
year.
run, a 3 would be on the table.
Right, but how much are they even paying attention to the Sunday games? Are they setting up their bracket for what ifs to where maybe that doesn't make a difference? It didn't seem to last year. And here's the thing, I agree with you in how you view Tennessee. And I think fans view Tennessee. How you finish and the Ziegler, I think they'll take those things into consideration. But I don't think they're saying, "Oh, Rick Barnes doesn't have postseason success."
I didn't say they are. I said I would.
Right. No,
That's how if I'm in the room, that's a 5 seed. They'll probably get a 4 is what I project.
Right.
I'm telling you. So I'm asking you, what would you give them, and what do you think they'll give them?
Yeah.
2 questions.
Yeah, I was just clarifying that. I would give them a 4.
Okay.
And another factor in that is sometimes they are playing musical chairs to where to spread things out geographically or make a region work, somebody gets slided from a 3 to a 4 or a 4 to a 5. So I would give them a 4. I think that's probably where they'll end up.
Here's the interesting thing. I agreed with you. I think they will end up before. But here's the interesting thing about the net ranking meaning so much, and it's hard to see them dropping. Mm-hmm. When's the last time you see a team that was in the top 5 in net that finished 5th in its own conference? I mean, you're talking about, well, I think they deserve, some people think they could get a 3 seed in the NCAA tournament. You're a 5 seed in the SEC.
Yeah, I don't think they care much about conference positioning.
No, maybe not.
I think they look at overall
I'm just trying to remember
so.
how many times I've ever seen that, though.
Yeah, those numbers specifically, not sure, but I bet pretty common to see much higher net ranking versus where they are in the conference, just because conference scheduling and all that can be so jumbled.
Misleading. Mm-hmm. I think this team got it. That net was built when this team was playing a lot better early in the season, and the reason they went to the net ranking. And they went away from the last 10 games. They want to reward teams for scheduling well and playing well early, and they don't want it just to be who finishes hot. So that could all benefit Tennessee, absolutely. And it's why I think they'll get a top 4 seed, which means you're one of the top 16 teams in the tournament. I'm just saying I don't believe that anymore.
You've outlined it with how good their wins are and maybe how disappointing some of their losses have been. The teams that they beat have remained good to keep those at quality wins on their resume.
Good point. All right, when we come back, 22-9 overall, 11-7 in the SEC, but tons of injuries. How do we grade Rick Barnes for this year? Come on back on the Sports Source.